All right, we are back days before the One Piece 1134 spoilers drop. I'm here to just make some general predictions on what I'm expecting to see next chapter and just have some fun with it, right? So, last chapter we left off with the Saul and Robin reunion. Will we continue that reunion and take it to the Owl Library, or will we cut away from the Straw Hats? So, if I were to put my 2 cents in the race, I think that it would make sense if we either go to the Owl Library, or if we take Saul with us to the feast. But I don't think a lot of time has passed, right? Because Hardin said that they will prepare the deer meat while the Straw Hats are getting Saul. I don't think a lot of time has passed for Hardin to finish cooking his food. Not like timing like that ever mattered in One Piece, right? We could easily just go back and Hardin's like, hey, we're done, guys. Time to eat, right? But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we might actually see what Saul has been up to. That's something a lot of people have been looking forward to, right? Yes, Saul is a great emotional piece, right? We all kind of cried a little bit or teared up. But what more can Saul offer than just that? That is what I'm looking forward to. I do want to go to the Owl Library, and I want to see what the books of Ohara has taught him. What has he learned here on Elbaf? Because I'm sure Elbaf has, books of their own. I bet they have poneglyphs as well, maybe. And I do want to see if Saul has been cooking these past 22 years. Now, with Saul giving us this info, what could we learn? Well, at the very base level, the bare minimum, I believe that Saul can tell us about the Void Century. Sounds insane, right? That giant loser. Why would he be able to do that? Well, it's because the researchers of Ohara knew the name of the ancient kingdom based off of their books and poneglyph. If Saul has all of that, then I do assume that he would have the same information. Clover was about to name drop the ancient kingdom, and then boom, 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 Spandine killed him. So I do think that Saul will tell us that revelation, he'll tell us the name, and it's going to be grand. He might even tell us about the Will of D. Saul is a fellow member of the D clan. I do think we will get a lot of lore from him. So bouncing off of that can't be the whole chapter, right? That's like maybe 1 or 2 pages. Bouncing off of that, I do think that we might get another silhouette of Joy Boy. Maybe the silhouette is more detailed this time around, because back when we got the first silhouette of Joy Boy, people were debating. It's still a debate because we really don't know. People are saying, oh, Joy Boy is big. He's a giant. Joy Boy has a peg leg. Joy Boy's arm looks mechanical. Silhouettes in One Piece have always been a hot topic of debate, but it also doesn't help that the Joy Boy silhouette was really small. And then, the main focus was on Emmett, who was definitely a lot more detailed. So I would love to see another Joy Boy silhouette, but with more detail so we could see more about him. We can really distinguish the whole peg leg argument. And yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun. Outside of that though, this is the final chapter of the year. For the community, I think we'll get scanned still before the New Year's ends. We'll get another chapter possibly, but generally this should be the last chapter of the year. And I do think that Oda wants to go out with a bang. So what could really give us the most impact? Well, I do think it would be a Joy Boy chapter, or maybe even a Sun God Nika chapter. Right? Because Joy Boy is simply a guy that had Sun God Nika powers. They're 2 separate entities, at least to my understanding. So maybe Saul hits us with, hey, the Sun God is celebrated here in Elbaf. Let me tell you about the Sun God that we worship. I think that could be pretty damn plausible if we go to the Owl Library. Now, aside from that, what else could we get? Maybe alongside the Joy Boy silhouette reveal or Joy Boy reveal, maybe we also get an Emu reveal in tandem, right? Because Emu is another character who is most likely from the Void Century. The minute we learn about Joy Boy, I think we will learn more about Emu. So maybe it's a double reveal. I know that's really wishful thinking, right? Getting 2 major characters revealed in the same chapter, that would be insane. That would be mind-blowing. But I do think we will have to get them sooner rather than later. Right? Eventually, we're gonna have to get them. It's just a matter of when. So yeah, that right there would be a great way to end off the year in my opinion. But like I said, wishful thinking 100%. Now that I think about it, we could just get a Saul flashback too to see what he's been doing, like after Ohara. Like, oh, I got thawed in the water and then I went to go contact the Giants of Elbaf, or oh, maybe I ran into X Pirate or Y Pirate. And then that's how he got back to Elbaf. I'm not too sure. I would like to think that would be the logical thought train. Like, that's where we would go next. We're right next to him. So why not inquire more about his past? But Robin did say that she didn't want to linger on the dark memories, right? She wants to move on. She wants Saul to hug her. They did. So I doubt that right after the hug, Saul's gonna trauma dump some more, right? Like, well, trauma dump is the wrong word, but I doubt he's gonna go more into the backstory. Like, oh, Robin, you know, now that we're done hugging, let me tell you about my leg. Frostbite, explosions, water. Oh, God, it's the worst. I had to eat it, you know? Like, I can't imagine he does that. That would kind of, not sour the mood, but it would be a big twist, right? So let's say we don't pay attention to Saul and we instead take Saul to the feast and we just have fun with the giants. What could we get over there? Well, I do think we could get a Loki flashback, or at least Elbaf lore. Because when you think about it, right, whenever the Straw Hats have a grand feast, whenever we're chilling with the gang and, you know, citizens of an island, the citizens like to talk, right? I immediately go back to Fishman Island, where Robin walked off with King Neptune and they talked about ancient weapons, they talked about Joy Boy and all that. I do think we could get something like that, where we're all feasting, we're toasting, and then Luffy's like, hey, that Loki guy, what's up with him? And then the giants give us the rundown as to what Loki did specifically. Maybe we get the flashback where Loki killed his father and ate the devil fruit, or maybe we'll learn about the devil fruit entirely. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Outside of that, we could also get the lore of why the Yggdrasil tree was here in the first place, because based on what Loki said in his introduction chapters, he said that the bottom tier of Elbaf was known as the first world a long time ago. And now there's multiple worlds, right? There's the sun world and there's also the heaven world up above. So maybe we get lore on Elbaf's island and we just learn how this tree came into existence. And I think that would be really important, because if we learn about the Adam tree, in tandem, we would also learn a little bit about the Eve tree, another tree that exists in the world of One Piece that we don't really know too much about. We know that it brings light and oxygen down to Fishman Island, but outside of that, it's just there. We haven't even seen it. We've seen its roots, but we've never seen the damn tree. So yeah, I don't know. It's a hard one. Like, I feel like all the logical ways a chapter could progress doesn't always have to be that, right? Oda can always take it a different direction. And now let's think about that, right? If Oda decides to cut away from Elbaf, cut away from Saul, the giants, the party, and all that, what could we get? Well, I think one or two things. I think one, we could stay here on Elbaf and we could get revealed as to who is the silhouetted man, or we could go away from Elbaf and we can see what the other factions are up to. I think that will be a common thing going into this final saga, where every 10, 20 chapters or so, we leave the Straw Hats behind and we see what Dragon's up to. Blackbeard, the Holy Knights, Shanks, Kid, Law, Cross Guild, Impelled Down even. I think it is important to see what these people are doing and what they're moving towards, right? Because this is the race for the One Piece. At first, you know, we were chilling, we were taking our time. Not too many people are going after the One Piece that really mattered. But nowadays, my God, you know, there's a fire lit under everybody's ass. Emu is destroying the world. Water levels are rising. Multiple people have 3 road poneglyphs. Well, 3 or 2, you know, it's up for debate. But yeah, I think it is important to see the progression of all these other factions. So yeah, we could just end this year off on a big update around the world. I would love to see what they're doing. And, you know, personally, I want to see the Holy Knights, man. I mean, I know I've been saying that every single chapter prediction video, but those guys are a mystery, bro. Like, we know about Garling, right? But Garling isn't even technically a Holy Knight anymore. He got promoted to Gorosei. Who took his spot? Who are his 9-ish subordinates, bro? Like, I want to see them. I really do. And I think the reason why I want to see them is because I want to see how strong they are. Dude, these guys are the final, well, you know, parentheses, final villain organization we're going to meet. We already met all the other players. We know Blackbeard's group. We know Emu and the Gorosei. We know Dragon's group. We know Shanks's group. We know Cross Guild for the most part. Like, we just need the Holy Knights now. So that is why I'm putting so much stock into them. That's why I really want to see them personally. And, you know, a lot of people have been debating how strong they are as well, right? They should be heavy hitters. They were around during God Valley. They work under Garling. They're the world government's fighting force. Like, they gotta be powerful. But the problem with the Holy Knights is that while they have existed in the series for a long time now, they've never really mobilized outside of God Valley. And we didn't even see them during God Valley. You know what I mean? Like, we saw some characters who are most likely Holy Knights. We saw Garling when he was younger. We saw a guy with an animal skull mask. We saw this black-haired chick right behind him. But we didn't see them fight. We didn't even see these guys swing a sword. well, Garling swung the sword, but he really just killed a civilian, you know? Like, it's not exactly a big feat to kill a guy who's running away from you. But yeah, I would love to see what these guys are all on about, and I think it makes sense that so many people are skeptical about them because they should have been around during the Reverie. They should have been around during Fisher Tiger's, you know, release of the slaves, but we've never heard of them. They never mobilized, they never did anything. They're just existing in some weird limbo space. So I would love to see them. I think it'd be cool to get a reveal as to what they look like. You know, even if we don't see them fight, or even if we don't get a sense of their power, I think just getting an appearance from them would be very, very nice. Outside of that, though, you know, you can't talk about the Holy Knights and the world government without talking about Dragon. So Dragon is another interesting one because he seems to be caught in the crossfire of two organizations. One of them being the world government, of course, and the Holy Knights, and the other being the Blackbeard Pirates. Blackbeard, for some reason, has a weird hate boner against Dragon. We saw this back when Blackbeard was very willing to destroy Baltigo. The minute Burgess called him up and said, "Hey, Teach, I found the Revolutionaries HQ," Blackbeard went there and destroyed it immediately. So Blackbeard is out to get this guy. We saw that Lafitte is currently spying on Dragon's operations and how the world government is moving food. So there is a chance that Blackbeard and the world government make this weird team up and try to attack the Revs. And I think that would be a lot of fun to explore. I would love to see how these guys are playing out because, you know, we have the race for the One Piece on one end, and then we have Dragon, the Revs, and the world government on the other end, and it's like, what the hell is going on over here, right? See, I think that would be really interesting, but if I were to put my money down, if I was a betting man, I do think we will just stay on Elbaf with the Straw Hats, right? I don't want to get too far outside the bubble, so yeah, I think Elbaf, Saul, maybe some Void Century stuff, some O'Hara research, and that's where we're going to call it. And now lastly, we should be getting a color spread this week, and if I had to put money on what it would be, typically I wouldn't guess on a color spread, but I feel like it's very obvious that this time around it is going to be dedicated to Frankie's voice actor, because he did just recently quit his job. Well, quit is like a horrendous word to use here, but he had to retire because of his health issues. He's getting up there in age. He's not exactly the healthiest guy, so he had to step down from the Frankie VA role. So maybe this is Frankie handing the baton to the next Frankie. I could see that. That would be actually a really nice image, right? Imagine pre-time skip Frankie on one end, and then post-time skip Frankie on the other, and they're just holding hands. Let's show the new generation and the old generation. Of course, we don't know who the new Frankie VA will be. There's a lot of speculations out there because there's another actor, I believe, who is already usurping a lot of the old Frankie's roles. So it might be him, but forgive me, I'm not familiar with a lot of voice actor names, whether that's in English, whether it's in Japanese. I'm just not good at remembering names sometimes, so I apologize for that. But yeah, I could see this being a Frankie dedicated color spread. Maybe it's all the Straw Hats, like, you know, hugging Frankie, or all the Straw Hats putting their hands on Frankie or wishing him the best. Or maybe Oda gets really meta and it's just the voice actor. Maybe he draws the voice actor and Frankie having a drink. I think that would bring a tear to my eye. You know, it doesn't even need any dialogue, but I just think having that color spread would be very gut-wrenching. All right, because Frankie has put in a lot of years and work into his role, and he's done a fantastic job. I think Frankie's voice is very iconic within the series. And it's one of those things that really sticks out. You know, the whole super line, like it's something, man. It's truly something special. So seeing a voice actor like him, somebody who's so unique in his talents, step down is always going to be a really sad thing. But of course, it's a canon event. You know, One Piece has gone on for 25, 27 years at this point, and these voice actors are getting really old. If anything, it's really commendable that they stuck around for this long. You know, a lot of people that I know in real life, man, they stick around a job for maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and then they quit. These VAs, bro, they put in the work. They show up every freaking day of their lives. And it's crazy to think about, right? Because I bet when One Piece was first getting started, when they first got offered these roles, there was no way they expected it to last this long, right? Like, imagine other manga and anime series, like Naruto, for example, or Bleach. Like, they show up, they're like, oh, like, this maybe has 5, 6 years, and then I'll be out of here. Dude, in One Piece, these guys are being locked up, man. So yeah, I could see this being a Frankie dedicated color spread through and through. You know, for the Saul and the Holy Knight Dragon stuff, I'm kind of iffy, right? I could be totally wrong, but I think I will be on the money about the color spread. I think it'll be very meta, and it will be a heartfelt goodbye to the voice actor. But yeah, those are my quick thoughts. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this. Where do you think we're going to go? Who do you think we're going to see? And what do you personally want to see, right? Thinking about what we're going to see and what you want to see are always two different things. I want the Holy Knights, but we're probably going to just get Saul. But yeah, with that being said though, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this adventure. I really freaking appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you guys when the chapter releases. Signing out.